I died choking on my own blood in the trunk of a car hurtling toward the Hudson River. My brother's hands on the wheel and my best friend's lies sealing my fate. The last thing I saw before the water claimed me was the glint of that antique locket around my neck, the one Dad called useless junk when he shoved it into my palm at his funeral. His final act of indifference after a lifetime of it. But as the cold rushed in and my lungs burned, I didn't regret trusting them. I regretted wasting my one life on ghosts who never loved me back until the world reset. And I woke up gasping in my old bed, 25 again, with that locket humming against my skin like a loaded gun. The alarm clock's shrill beep yanked me upright. Sheets tangled around my legs like restraints from a bad dream. My heart hammered, slick with sweat, and for a split second, I was back there, tires screeching on wet asphalt, the metallic tang of fear in my mouth. Alex's voice from the driver's seat, casual as a radio DJ. Sorry.
Eminência.
Family business. Then the splash. The endless dark pull of the river. And Rachel's face in my mind. Her tears at the accident press conference.
Crocodile dry.
But this wasn't the hospital gurney or the morgue slab. This was my cramped Brooklyn studio apartment, the one I'd sublet before the promotion that lured me to Dad's old firm upstate. The calendar on the wall screamed 2018, 7 years back. Pre-betrayal. Pre-murder. My hands flew to my throat, expecting bruises that weren't there. And there it was, the locket. Cool silver against my collarbone, engraved with Dad's cryptic initials.
Yem.
For Elias Montgomery, the man who'd built a real estate empire on Manhattan's bones and left me scraping by as a junior paralegal in his shadow. I stumbled to the mirror, expecting the gaunt 32-year-old wreck from my final days, hollow cheeks, eyes like bruised plums from too many all-nighters chasing leads that led nowhere. Instead, 25-year-old Emma stared back, wide green eyes, chestnut hair in a messy ponytail, the kind of fresh-faced optimism that made strangers call me sweet before they screwed me over. I touched my reflection, half convinced it was a hallucination induced by drowning. But the locket was real. Heavy. And when I popped it open, there was the faded photo, Dad and me at 5. Him in a suit too big. Me in pigtails. Both grinning like we owned the world. He never looked at me like that again after Mom left. You're not cut out for this life, kid, he'd say, waving me off from board meetings, favoring Alex, my golden boy half-brother from his second marriage, like I was the spare tire. A laugh bubbled up, raw and disbelieving, turning into a sob that shook my whole body. Reborn.
重生.
As those Vietnamese ghost stories Mom used to whisper called it. I'd read about it in some late-night Wikipedia rabbit hole after a bad breakup, dismissing it as feel-good fiction for the jaded. But here I was, handed a do-over by whatever cruel cosmic joke ran the universe. The betrayal replayed in flashes. Alex. Charming Alex with his Ivy League smile, convincing me to sign over my shares in Dad's company for the greater good. Rachel. My ride or die since college, feeding him intel on my doubts. Her text to him popping up on my phone post-mortem like digital receipts. She's asking questions. Handle it. And the secret they'd buried, Dad's will, hidden in a Cayman account, a fortune in off-books properties meant for me alone, until they doctored it, painting me as the unstable addict to cut me out entirely. I sank to the floor, locket clutched in my fist. This time, I wouldn't play the loyal daughter, the forgiving sister, the blind friend. This time, I'd unearth every skeleton, twist the knife on the ones who'd buried me alive. But first, survival. My phone buzzed. Rachel. Right on schedule.
Ink.
Brunch at that new spot in Williamsburg? Spill on the job interview. Her voice would be bubbly. All concern, masking the serpent underneath. In my old life, I'd gushed about the paralegal gig at Montgomery Properties, oblivious to the trap.
Now?
I let it ring, a predator's smile curling my lips. Let them think I was still the pushover. By noon, I'd showered off the Phantom River chill and dressed in my power armor, slim black jeans, a crisp white blouse, and a blazer that screamed underdog with bite. The locket stayed on, a talisman. I needed cash fast and intel. Dad was alive in this timeline, his empire humming along. But I knew the cracks, the shady deals with Russian oligarchs, the bribes to zoning boards that Alex was already dipping into. My first move? Hit the library. Not for books, but for public records. In the old days, I trusted the family lawyers.
Now.
I'd DIY. The Brooklyn Public Library smelled like aged paper and desperation, a far cry from the mahogany-scented offices I'd die in. I commandeered a computer in the back, fingers flying over keys like weapons. Elias Montgomery's name pulled up the gloss, self-made billionaire. Philanthropist facade masking a cutthroat who crushed competitors like roaches. But dig deeper, permits for the Hudson waterfront development, the one that'd floodlight my murder site, and there it was, a whisper of irregularity. A shell company tied to Dad's signature, dated just before his heart attack in 2020. Heart attack my ass. In my past life, the autopsy was hushed up.
But now?
I'd crack it wide. Hours blurred. By dusk, my notebook brimmed with threads, Alex's secret tuition payments from the company's slush fund, Rachel's internship at the firm, courtesy of my unwitting referral. And the locket? I'd nearly forgotten it until a librarian's gasp pulled me up. That's a beauty. Victorian. Looks like. Ever had it appraised?
Appraised.
The word hit like lightning. Dad's funeral. 2020. He'd pressed it into my hand amid the mourners. His grip weak. Eyes glassy from pain meds. Useless to me now.
Emma.
Keep it off the books. I'd pawned it for rent money 6 months later, after Alex froze my accounts. But in this reset, it dangled untouched. I bolted home, grabbing a jeweler's loop from an online rush order. Thank God for next day Prime. Under magnification, the locket's inner seam gleamed oddly. Not silver, platinum? I pried gently with a butter knife, heart thudding. A click, and it split, not just a photo compartment, but a hidden recess. Inside, a microSD card, thumbnail-sized, matte black. My breath caught. Dad's useless gift wasn't junk, it was a vault. I jammed it into my laptop, password prompt glaring. Tried birthdays. His wedding date, nothing. Then, our photo day, May 15th, 2003. Green light. Files bloomed. Encrypted ledgers. Emails. Voice memos. Emma, Dad's gravelly recording crackled. Dated a week before his death. If you're hearing this, they got to me first. The fortune's yours, offshore trusts. Bearer bonds. The works. Untouchable. Alex and his mother. They've been skimming since 15. Rachel? She's their plant. Trust no one. Burn this after. Tears stung. Hot and furious. He'd known. All those years of neglect, of favoring the stepfamily, weren't indifference, they were camouflage. protecting me from the wolves at the door. The fortune, $200 million, laundered through Caribbean shells. Key to my biometrics via the locket's embedded chip. Biometrics I'd need to activate in person. In the Caymans, before the original will reading in 3 months. But activation meant risk. Alex would sniff it out. He'd already started in this timeline. For the emails. Rachel, too. Her text to him time-stamped yesterday. Emma's interview went great. She's in. I slammed the laptop shut, pulse racing. Revenge wasn't a checklist, it was chess. And I'd just found the queen. First play dumb.
Reel them in.
Call Rachel back.
Gush about the job.
Let them think the pawn was still on the board. That night, sleep evaded me. The locket a cold anchor on my chest. Dreams twisted the past. Mom's abandonment at 12. Dad's cold shoulder after. Alex's smug. You're the half that doesn't add up.
Sis.
Waking at dawn. Resolve hardened like steel. I'd attend the firm dinner next week. Charm the vipers. Plant seeds of doubt. And when the time came, I'd drown them in their own river of lies. The days blurred into a tense masquerade. Brunch with Rachel. Her laughter tinkled like breaking glass as she probed. So, spill. Nervous about working for Elias? I sipped my mimosa, feigning butterflies. Terrified. But hey, family discount.
Inside.
I cataloged her tells, the averted eyes, the fidget with her phone. Alex texted mid-meal. Proud of you.
Immunancia.
Dinner soon, I replied with hearts. Bile rising. By week's end, the locket's secret burned in my veins. I'd booked a flight to the Caymans, cover story, solo girls trip. But en route to the firm for my orientation, a black SUV tailed me from the subway. Paranoia? Or early birds? I ducked into a coffee shop, heart slamming, and called in sick. From a burner app, I emailed an anonymous tip to the SEC, Montgomery Properties, Shell Anomalies, 2015 to 2018. Just enough smoke. Orientation skipped. I holed up, poring over Dad's files. The betrayal's root, a 2015 deal. Dad catching Alex and his mom, Victoria, cooking books for a $50 mill kickback. Dad confronted. They panicked, planted evidence framing me as the embezzler. But he buried it, waiting for proof. Proof he'd encoded here.
For me.
The fortune wasn't just money, it was leverage. Deeds to half the waterfront. Enough to sink them legally. Financially.
Personally.
Night fell. City lights mocking my isolation. I touched the locket, whispering to Dad's ghost. I won't fail you this time. Tomorrow, the real game began. The firm dinner loomed like a guillotine. All crystal glasses and 4 smiles in the private room of Le Bernardin, where Manhattan's elite pretended deals weren't sealed in blood. I dolled up, red dress hugging curves I forgot I had, locket tucked under the neckline, like contraband. Rachel arrived first, air kissing my cheeks, her perfume cloying as her loyalty. You look killer.
Ink.
Ready to dazzle Elias? Dazzle.
Right.
Dad sat at the head, silver fox in a bespoke suit, his eyes skipping over me as always, landing on Alex with paternal pride. My half-brother, 30 and already VP, clapped my back too hard. Little sis, slumming it with the paralegals? We'll get you a corner office yet. His grin was toothpaste ad perfect. But I caught the flicker, calculation, wondering if I'd bite the bait. Victoria, His mother glided in late, blonde chignon and diamonds that screamed old money insecurity. Emma, darling, so brave following in your father's footsteps. Her hug was limp, nails digging just enough to warn. I smiled through it, murmuring pleasantries, all while my mind mapped escape routes. The SEC tip had landed. By morning, auditors would circle.
But tonight?
Intel gathering. Dinner dragged. Courses of seared foie gras and small talk about disruptive markets. Dad droned on about the Hudson Project, condos for the 1%, displacing families I'd later represent in eviction suits. Alex jumped in, pitching expansions, his hand on Victoria's knee under the table. Rachel, seated beside me, played the ingenue. Emma's the ethics was here. She'll keep us all honest. Laughter rippled, but her foot nudged mine. Signal or slip. Post-dessert. Cigars and cognac for the men. Coffee for us ladies. I excused myself to the powder room, slipping the locket's chip into a hidden phone scanner. Dad's files updated in real time via a dark web proxy I'd set up, paranoid, but necessary. A new memo. Alex meeting with Petrov tonight. Russian wire transfer. $2 million. Petrov, the oligarch who'd invested in Dad's downfall, per the autopsy notes I'd bribed for in my old life. I rejoined them flushed, feigning tipsy.
Dad.
Remember that trip to Coney Island? You promised me the cyclone. A Hail Mary. Dredging nostalgia. He paused, glass midway to lips, something cracking in his eyes. You were fearless.
Kid.
Still are. Alex's jaw tightened. Victoria's laugh tinkled false. Rachel shot me a look, curiosity laced with suspicion. The night peaked in the valet line, rain sheeting down like judgment. Alex pulled me aside, breath whiskey sweet. Heard you're heading to the islands. Vacation? His eyes bored in. Casual threat. I blinked doe-eyed. Caymans? Yeah. Cheap spa weekend. Why? He shrugged. But the SUV idled across the street, same plates. Just watch the currents.
Imminência.
They pull you under fast. Home by midnight. I barricaded the door. Laptop glowing. Petrov's wire, traced to a Brooklyn warehouse. Dad's storage for incriminating docs. Raided tomorrow. Anonymously tipped the feds.
But sleep?
Impossible. The locket warmed against my skin, as if Dad approved. Dreams came fractured. Mom's goodbye letter. You're too soft for this world. Alex's hands on the wheel. Rachel whispering. For the family. Dawn broke gray. I geared up, hoodie, gloves, burner phone, and hit the streets. Subway to the waterfront. The warehouse squatted like a forgotten beast, chain link rattling in the wind. No guards, Alex's arrogance. Inside, dust-choked boxes, ledgers yellowed with age. Jackpot, a safe. Combination from Dad's files, our birth dates mashed. Inside, hard drives, photos of Alex and Petrov shaking hands, Victoria's signature on falsified tax forms. I snapped pics, uploaded to a VPN Dropbox, then torched a decoy stack, smoke alarm wail covering my exit. Sirens wailed distant as I melted into the crowd. Adrenaline singing. Back in Brooklyn. The news pinged. Montgomery properties hit by anonymous leak. Feds investigate embezzlement. Alex's text blew up. WTF? You okay? Rachel, this is insane. Call me. I ghosted them. Packing for the Caymans. Airport security scanned the locket. It beeped innocuous. On the flight, ruminations set in. Controversy brewed. My revenge wasn't clean. Exposing Alex meant dragging Dad's name through mud. The empire crumbling. Jobs lost. Was I the hero or the wrecking ball? The decisions nod. Mercy for Dad's legacy. Or scorched earth. The fortune tempted freedom. Power, but tainted by blood. Grand Cayman hit like a fever dream. Turquoise waters mocking my turmoil. Bankers in linen suits. The trust office was a vault of glass and steel. The lawyer, a bespectacled Brit named Hargrove, waiting with Dad's pre-recorded vid. Emma, if you've made it, you're stronger than I ever was. Biometric scan, thumbprint, retina, voice prompt reciting a childhood poem.
Green.
Accounts unlocked, $187 million liquid. Properties deeded to Yem. Junior me. Hargrove slid papers. Your father was thorough. Offshore. Anonymous. But word travels. Indeed, my phone vibrated, Alex. Enjoying paradise? Check the news. A link. Montgomery heiress vanishes amid scandal. They'd spun it, me as the thief. Fleeing with embezzled funds. Rachel's byline. Freelance for the Post. Betrayal in the boardroom. Is Emma Montgomery the family black sheep? Fury boiled.
But so did clarity.
They were cornered. Lashing out. I wired a fraction to a U.S. advocacy group, Eviction Defense for Hudson Tenants, Anonymous. A thorn in their side. Then, counterstrike. Leak Petrov's ties to a journalist contact from my old life. Pre-death. By touchdown in JFK. Headlines shifted. Russian mob links to New York City real estate giant. Alex called. Voice velvet over venom. We need to talk.
Imminência.
Family summit. Mom's place. Tomorrow. Trap or desperation? I agreed.
Sweet as pie.
Of course. Let's fix this. Victoria's Upper East Side brownstone dripped old money, crystal chandeliers, Persian rugs muffling footsteps. She greeted me with tea, hands trembling. Darling, this mess. Alex is devastated.
Lies.
He stormed in, face thunder. What the hell? Emma, you think you can burn us? Rachel trailed. Eyes red-rimmed. Acting?
Ink. Please.
We're all we've got. I sipped. Locket hidden. Playing the fractured sibling. I found Dad's files. The real ones. Silence crashed. Alex lunged verbally. That old man's paranoia? You're buying it? He's the one who built this on lies. The argument escalated. Accusations flying. Victoria's tears for the stolen youth. Alex's rants on ungrateful brats. Rachel's pleas for unity. I let it build. Then dropped the bomb. The locket. It unlocked everything. And I activated it. Their faces, priceless. Horror.
Greed. Fear.
You bitch, Alex hissed. That's not yours. But it was. And as thunder rumbled outside, I saw the fracture lines deepen. The masquerade cracked. The real hunt began. The brownstone showdown lingered like a bruise. Every word a calculated incision. Alex's parting shot. This isn't over. Emma. Echoed as I cabbed back to Brooklyn. Rain lashing windows like accusations. Over? Hell no. It was intermission. The leaks had bitten. Montgomery's stock dipped 15%. Petrov's goons ghosting deals. But they wouldn't fold. Alex's next play, lawfare. suing me for defamation via proxies. Rachel's media spin, painting me as the vengeful harpy. Victoria, the wild card. Her emails from Dad's files screaming desperation, begging for scraps, threatening exposure of his affairs. I fortified, new locks.
Panic button app.
A PI named Jax, ex-cop. $5,000 retainer from the fortune strip. You're stirring a hornet's nest. Kid, he growled over burner call. Montgomery's play dirty. Understatement. By week 2, my vacation pics leaked, photoshopped with shady Cayman suits. Courtesy Rachel's hacker buddy. Protests erupted outside the firm, tenants chanting blood money. My anonymous wire at work. Sleep fragmented. Haunted by what-ifs. What if I walked away? Took the money? Vanished to some Pacific atoll? But the river's chill whispered no. Betrayal demanded balance. Dad's voice looped. Trust no one. Even him? The neglect stung deeper now. Revealed as sacrifice. I'd honored it by surviving. Now, I'd weaponize it. Controversy crested at the board meeting I crashed, uninvited. Badge flashed from old credentials. The oak-paneled room reeked of cigars and panic. Suits shifting as I strode in. Locket gleaming openly. Dad at the helm. Brow furrowed. Emma, this is executive session. I cut in. Voice steel. And I'm here to executive. Gasps rippled. I projected the files, Petrov's wires, Victoria's forgeries, onto the screen. VPN routed for deniability. Dad built this. But parasites ate the foundation. Alex bolted up. Face crimson. Slander. Security. But Dad's hand stayed them. His eyes, mirrors of mine, locked on the locket. Recognition dawned. Slow as dawn. The gift. Whispered. For me alone. The room erupted. Calls for votes. Lawyers scrambling. I didn't wait for the axe. I dropped the mic. Resign or rot. Alex lunged. Fist cocked. Controversial?
Hell yes.
But Jax materialized, pinning him. Touch her. You're done. Outside. Paparazzi swarmed. Flashes blinding. Rachel waited in the scrum. Mike thrust. Emma, is this revenge for Elias's favoritism? Her eyes pleaded, real tears? I leaned in, breath ghosting her ear. You sold me for a byline. Now, watch the ink run. Viral by hour's end. Montgomery betrayal trending. The fallout accelerated. SEC raids hit dawn next day. Alex arrested for questioning. Victoria lawyered up in the Hamptons. Dad called. First time in years without agenda. Coffee? Neutral ground. We met at a midtown diner. Formica tables scarred like our history. He looked frail. The empire's weight bowing him. I pushed you away to protect you. Victoria. She knew things. Leverage. I slid the locket across. You succeeded. Until they drowned me. His face blanched. Future knowledge?
No.
Just guilt. The accident? Probe gentle. I nodded. Tears hot. Alex. Rachel. For the will. He deflated. Ordering bourbon neat. I suspected. The fortune, it's clean. Use it to rebuild. Not destroy. Rebuild. The word chafed. Decisions piled. Testify against family. Or shield Dad's legacy. Publicly. I pivoted, press conference donating $50 mil to housing trusts. For the displaced. Not the displacers. Cheers drown the booze. But online? Branded traitor. Gold digger. Ungrateful spawn. Controversy fueled the fire. My follower count exploded. Offers from Netflix for the true story. Rachel cornered me post-conference. Coffee shop shadows hiding her haggard face.
Ink.
It was Alex. He said it was a prank. The car thing. I never meant. Lies. Butt cracked. I gripped her wrist. Nails biting. Prank?
I died. Ratch.
You wrote my eulogy. She crumpled.
Sobbing.
Mercy flickered college memories. Late-night confessions. But the river one. Confess. Or, I drop your texts. She nodded. Broken. Jax's update sealed the news. Petrov fleeing to Moscow. But Alex's burner logs tied him to the accident. Texts plotting the drive off the pier. Coercion, Alex would claim. But with Rachel's flip, ironclad. The climax brewed at the will reading, accelerated by scandal. Dad's insistence. The lawyer's office. All walnut and whispers. Crackled tension. Alex, veiled but cuffed in spirit, glared daggers. Victoria, Botox frozen, clutched pearls. Rachel absent, her affidavit filed. Immunity for testimony. Dad entered last. Me at his side. Locket synced to the safe deposit box. The reading surface will.
Crumbs for them.
Then the codicil video of Dad. Post-locket gift. To Emma, the only true heir, everything. Gasps. Then rage. Alex exploded. Forgery. She's manipulating him. Punches thrown, his at Dad. Mine dodged. Security swarmed, but not before Victoria's shriek. You knew? Elias. About the boy. Twist gut punched. The boy. Dad's face ashen. Not now. But she spilled. Venomous. Your bastard, Alex, isn't yours. I faked the tests. For the shares. Room froze. Dad's eyes on Alex, disgust dawning. The secret buried deeper than fortunes. Infertility. Affairs. A switched paternity to secure Victoria's grip. Alex lunged at her. Chaos erupting. I slipped out. Jax covering. The Locket's chip auto-uploading the melee to authorities. Betrayal layered on betrayal. Victoria's masterstroke. Dooming us all. In the aftermath. Dad collapsed. Real heart this time. Stress-frayed. Hospital vigil. Monitors beeping. His hand in mine. Finish it.
Emma.
For us. I nodded. Tears salting the wound. The empire teetered. I could have claimed it all.
Crushed them.
But controversy's cost. A family atomized.
My soul scarred.
Alex confessed partial. Manslaughter. Coerced by Petrov's threats. Victoria fled to Europe. Extradition pending. Rachel? Community service. Her career ash.
Me?
The fortune secured. But hollow. Dad stabilized. Whispering. Proud. Yet as I walked hospital halls. Locket heavy. Doubt crept. Revenge tasted ash sweet at first, then choking. Was this justice? Or just another cycle? Months blurred into a new normal. Jagged edges smoothing under fortune's bomb. The Montgomery empire splintered, Dad's retirement handing reins to ethical interim board. My shadow influence via trusts. Hudson condos repurposed, affordable units. My donations legacy. Headlines faded from heiress horror to redemption queen, but scars itched, nights replaying the splash. Alex's family business. I moved upstate, A modest farmhouse on old Montgomery land. Locket enshrined on mantle like a scarab. Jax became fixture, coffee turned dates. His gruff, "You're tougher than you look" bomb to isolation. But revenge's echo hollowed me. Dad's visits. Frail in wheelchair. Dredged regrets. "I should have fought harder," he'd mutter. Eyes on the photo inside the locket. "For you." The twist lingered. Victoria's bomb reshaping fault lines. Paternity test confirmed. Alex. Not Dad's blood, but raised as son. Irony's cruelest cut. He rotted in Rikers awaiting trial. Letters smuggled via lawyers. "You won, sis." But blood's thicker. Wait. Joke's on us. I burn them unread. Mercy's line uncrossed. Rachel resurfaced. Clean slate email. Therapy. Making amends. Can we? Deleted. Some debts unpayable. Controversy peaked in the trial. Media circus. My testimony, the spectacle. DA's office. Fluorescent harsh. MS. Montgomery. Did your brother intend murder? Alex's eyes met mine across the courtroom. Hollowed, defiance cracked into plea. It was Petrov.
Debts.
You were collateral. Lies half true. The drive off. A lesson gone wrong. Rachel sabotaged the spark. I testified cold. Facts from files. Texts. The locket's proof. He chose. We all did. Jury deliberated 2 days. Verdict. Guilty. 25 to life. Victoria's extradition hearing overlapped, her and Chanel. Sneering from the stand. Elias drove me to it. Neglectful brute.
Dad.
Present via video. Shattered her. You stole my son. My daughter. Collapse followed. Ambulance wail drowning her sobs. She plea bargained. 10 years. Asset forfeiture. Post-trial. The twists ripple. Dad's health rallied. A transplant from an unlikely donor, anonymous. But Jax's wink-hinted strings pulled. We rebuilt slow. Father-daughter weekends. Fishing the Hudson shallows. Avoiding depths. The fortune, he asked one dusk. Line taut. It's power.
Dad.
But family's the real inheritance. I nodded. But shadows loomed. Petrov's remnants circled, subtle threats. A slashed tire. Whispers of unfinished business. Jax pushed security. I pushed back. Reclaiming streets. One night, tailing a suspect to that warehouse, irony's echo, I confronted a low-level thug. Tell your boss, the river flows both ways. He bolted, message sent. The locket? Its hum faded. Secret spent. I wore it still. Talisman turned touchstone. Dreams shifted, not drowning, but rising, water parting like grace. Rachel's amends note arrived again. Post-release, I lost you twice. Forgive. Controversy's gift. Choice. I met her in a park. Benches worn as us. Not yet, I said. But maybe. Her nod. Tentative bridge. Climax's echo resolved in Dad's 60th. Small affair. Farmhouse strung with lights. Toasts to survival. Laughter tentative. Alex's absence a ghost. But Dad's arm around me real. Useless gift, he chuckled, tapping the locket. Best I ever gave. As stars wheeled, Jax pulled me aside. Ring box glinting, proposal? Not yet, timing's art. But promise hummed. Future's current. Revenge's arc bent toward healing. Not all tidy. Victoria's appeals dragged. Petrov's shadow lingered. My testimonies cost in therapy bills. But in the quiet, I reclaimed the girl who trusted, now woman who chose. Betrayal's grave? Filled, not forgotten. The fortune?
Tool.
Not chain funding nonprofits. My firm for the displaced. Ending? No fairy tale bow. Life's messier. American grit. Triumph's hard won. Losses etched deep. But waking to birdsong. Lock it cool. I breathed free. The river behind. The world ahead. Mine to navigate. No do-overs needed. Dad passed 2 springs on. Peaceful. Will pristine. Funeral sparse, me. Jack's now husband. Rachel, tentative friend. Eulogy mine. He ignored to protect. Gave useless to empower. Loved fierce. In code. Applause soft. But mine thundered inside. Inheritance read, the rest to me. With claws, live bold.
Emma.
I did. Fortune unlocked, but heart's vault richer. Forgiveness partial. Vengeance sated. Life reborn not once,
But daily.
in the end, the useless gift, priceless. And me, no longer ignored, just unbreakable.